Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is the Oddly Enough show that we do with Swing Johnson every week during football season. We're just going to get Swing's pick for the upcoming NFL week every week. Right now we're looking ahead to NFL Week 4. The first 2 weeks, Swing Johnson freaking killed it. Was that a fluke? I don't know. I don't remember what his picks were for Week 3, but I like it that way because then I can be surprised when we do this call when I find out how he did. Swing Johnson, thanks for being back with us. How'd you do last week?
Loshak, I am coming off a 2-1 Sunday, and today I stand humbly before you at 6-2 ATS on the young season, and plus a whopping 15.3 units, which makes me a bona fide liar, Loshak, because I'm not humble at all. I am a shiny golden god.
All right, man, 6-2. Look, I've said repeatedly in this show that I'm starting to trust you more and more each week, but still, something in the back of my mind is telling me that's just a fluke. 8 games, not a huge sample size. Is it a fluke or not?
You're going to get screwed eventually. You know that.
All right. Well, let's see if you can do it again for NFL Week 4. Swing Johnson, what do you have for us this week?
Well, you know, Loshak, if anyone takes the time to review our videos after the fact, I really think they'd come away quite impressed because, we kind of talk through these things. I'm just thinking about last week when, we both liked Dallas, and that was a 4-unit winner over the Rams. And also, I like the Saints, but, you said, I'm really on the fence about it. And that actually proved to be rather prescient because that game could have gone either way. Sure. They covered the number for me, but you were kind of like, not so sure. But if you recall, weren't we both kind of squeamish about the Houston Texans? Looked like they were just going to, kick ass as a visitor to the New York Giants. And you even said, if the Giants get punched in the face, are they going to punch back? You didn't think so, but it just looked too easy. And that's why the other 2 games were 4-unit plays. That was only a 2-unit job. And, they lost 30-17. That's a game in my younger years that I would have buried. But, you get a little wiser as you get older.
Yes, absolutely. One of the keys to betting is the way you size your bets and learning what to not bet on, what to not go too crazy on. Basically, you never want to go too crazy on any bet. But, absolutely. And it turned out that was one of the sides of the sharps were on, according to Brent from BetDSI last week. Although they were also on the Rams as well against Dallas. So and they were also on Minnesota. So these sharps might not know what the hell they're talking about. So what do you have for us this week?
Okay, well, this week I've only got 2 games. The first one is the Panthers and the Ravens. And actually, this is a game I overlooked initially because it just didn't really speak to me one way or the other. Yeah. As a matter of fact, last week I did a write-up on the Sunday night game between the Panthers at home and the visiting Steelers. I actually picked the Steelers +3, much to my colleague Jackie Blue's chagrin, who just loves them Panthers. And as you know, the Panthers got drilled. Jackie got sad, but I got paid by backing Pittsburgh, Loshak. And I'm thinking back to this, and I'm just thinking to myself, Carolina just looked really, really bad. But, sometimes you have to talk things through. And every now and again, you get an opinion that you respect and that you trust. And actually, one of my good friends just gave me some serious numbers on Carolina. And if you don't mind, and I won't bore you with too many, but I'll give you a few stats. Since 2012, and I like these stats because they're relatively new. I've got guys that give me stats going back to 92. Everybody's in wheelchairs, So since 2012, Carolina is 8-4, 8-4-1 ATS following a loss. They're 11-5 ATS as underdogs. They're also 10-7, not bad, against the spread on the road during that time. And since 2012, Carolina, according to him, is 8-1 ATS as road underdogs, 89%, best in all of football during that time. Baltimore, the one stat that seems to leap out to me, a rather pedestrian 8-7 ATS as home favorite since 2012. So even though Carolina, struggled last week, this is regression to the mean. This is NFL parity. And, it looks to me like Carolina is going to be the play on the Ravens. And that's palatable for me because, I've been kind of dissing the Ravens since preseason. So I can see them falling on their face, and I can see Carolina rebounding.
Well, Swinging Johnson, that was my take on the game as well. I already bet it. I already bet Carolina +3.5. I'm agreeing with you there, Swinging Johnson. All right, what's your next pick this week?
Okay, well, let's go to another game that in my younger days I would have buried the other side because it just looks so easy. But now that I'm wiser and sharper, I'm going to go with the home dog because home dogs in the NFL, they do bite back. And this game is the Falcons versus the Vikings. Man, I mean, if you looked at the Falcons, that's what all the squares are going to be remembering. They're going to be recalling the Falcons absolutely dismantling the Tampa Bay Bucks and 56-14, I believe it was, Thursday night. Some of the sharps will say, hey, they've had 3 extra days to prepare for this. Vikings, on the other hand, I mean, you know, they lost 20-9 to the Saints, but you know what? That defense wasn't bad, Loshak. I mean, when you can hold Drew Brees to 2 touchdowns, you're not doing a bad thing. And I'll tell you what, they're going to have Teddy Bridgewater taking the reins for an injured Matt Castle. And Matt Castle gets very happy feet when he gets a lot of pressure. And I think this is going to be a go-to kind of a watershed moment for Teddy Bridgewater. It's his first game as a starter. And if you want to look at some stats, Atlanta is 4-8-1 ATS in its last 13 games on the road. Minnesota 4-1 straight up in its last 5 home games. Atlanta is 1-8 straight up in its last 9 games on the road. This feels like a trap game to me, Loshak. And I'm just going to play this lightly. I'm going with Minnesota just for 2 units. So neither play is really a big play this week. Carolina's for 3 units. I've got Minnesota for 2 units. That's what I'm feeling this week, Loshak. What do you think?
Wow, look at you. I think that you're turning into a mature NFL better wagerer right before my very eyes, Sweeney Johnson. You've grown up. You've grown up in the span of since we've been doing these shows. I'll tell you what, you know, Brent from BetDSI told me that Minnesota has been like a sharp side week in and week out. Now, not that they've won with that necessarily each week, but the sharps have been favoring Minnesota this year most of the time. So, you know, no way I can argue with that one. Swingin' Johnson, another great call, and we'll talk to you again next week.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.